you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to chat to you today and ask a couple of questions. So I'm going to start off by reading the nomination that came in for you. So this is probably the first time you're hearing it, but I think it's good for you to hear just how much people appreciate what you're doing. So here, Eileen has a very high academic achievement, having obtained a first-class honours degree in aerospace engineering, and is now undertaking a PhD in advanced composites in the Bristol Composites Institute. Eileen enrolled in university having had a remarkable journey to higher education. She was for a long time the only black female engineer in the whole of aerospace engineering. And recognising this, she has been instrumental in trying to increase representation in the department and the faculty. She established the Black Engineers Society and was key in the running and organising of Black Mentors Programme. In addition, Eileen is a member of the newly established anti-racism group in the Bristol Composites Institute and is also a member of the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion group in the Came School of Engineering. That's mad.
Okay.
That's mad.
I forgot I did all this. I forgot I did some of those things, but it's nice to hear about it.
Yeah, and the person's already also added a link to a website called rarerecruitment.co.uk where you can read about your story. And when I read it, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I think for me also, it's just, I came to university. I was determined to do so, and that was the end goal. And I always have to achieve my goals. I think for me, it was, so going through my research project in third year, I had the supervisor and I scored very highly in my research project. I really enjoyed it. And then my supervisor kept on hinting at the time. He's like, oh, why don't you do a PhD? And I was like, I don't really think I'm smart enough for a PhD anyway. I was like, well, I didn't even know anyone that did a PhD to begin with. And then, so in my final year, I took on the same project because in aerospace, you've got the final project, you can take on the same project as before. So I carried on with my project and I was like, you know what, I actually enjoy doing quite a lot of research. And I was like, okay, let me try my luck and apply to the Advanced Composites PhD, because also you had to have first class to get this, to be even eligible for this PhD. Wow. So it's kind of like a motivation thing also. So that's how I got into the PhD. I'm basically doing polymer physics, looking at the mechanical properties of all polymer composites. I'm just using the knowledge that I accumulated in my undergraduate studies, and obviously just doing quite a lot of research. But it's completely sort of different to my undergraduate, but it's still within aerospace and composites. I never saw anyone that looked like me doing a PhD, especially in aerospace. I think also when I first started my degree, there was one black girl. I just completely remembered there was one, and she was doing a PhD, and I think I did speak to her because she was part of the lab assistant. So I was like, oh, you're doing a PhD. So I think that was a monumental period for me as well. I was like, oh wow, she's doing a PhD, she must be really smart, because coming to university, like, I mean, an engineering degree is hard anyway.
Tell me about it.
So just the extra mile. So I was like, okay, if she could do it. I saw her in my first week of uni. So yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Sometimes it just takes that one person, doesn't it, to like...
It does, it does. So I think I've always wanted to do something like this at university level. I think one of the things is whenever there's open days at the university, you kind of see a certain demographic, like the same demographic coming every single time. You never really have programs specifically for Black students. So I thought, okay, so I was doing my PhD, started my PhD. I was, again, the only Black person in the office. It was like shock, horror. So I thought, okay, so Steve Icon and we decided, I think he had some links with the local school. And we talked about it, and I thought, wow, that's actually a great idea. And why don't we bring those students in and actually for them to actually notice what engineering is about, to learn what engineering is about, and actually just tell them that they could do it, because I went to a schools like them in London. So yeah.
I think I remember one of the events we had like a group of boys come in. I was there, and then we did like lab experiments with them. It was really cool, and
they were really fascinated. Exactly.
Were.
So seeing that. I mean, even if it's one person that actually you motivate them to go to university, I think that's very important, because especially in engineering, there's just, I mean, Black students are just not there. And it's not like we don't have the capability, we just don't see people that look like us, even when they go to outreach events. So it's easier to get the message across when someone looks like you.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
What about the Black Engineer Society? What's going on there?
This was just an idea like 2 years ago, I believe. Because within engineering, the thing about engineers is it's a very demanding, all engineering degrees are very demanding. And you find quite a lot of times you don't have time to socialize outside your discipline, let's say aerospace. And for instance, I was the only one, and I didn't know any other. I could see some Black students within, I know we have some shared lectures, so I could see some of them, but we never really interacted outside of lectures. So I thought, okay, so why don't we come up with a network where Black engineering students can actually connect and help each other, because the journey, it's not an easy journey navigating through an engineering degree. So I thought, okay, having this will be very beneficial for all of us. I started in 2013, and it was really, in terms of numbers, it was so bad that if you saw another Black person crossing the road, and like, yeah, you actually say hello to them and you become friends up until, but now they're doing, you know, like they're trying, but it's still not great.
Not quite there. No.
Yeah. I think this is a bit of a difficult one, because there's no need for increasing admissions of Black students, and them not having an inclusive or sort of a safe space to flourish, because also we are applying to these universities and these courses, but we also have a very high attainment gap in comparison to our peers, our white peers, our Asian peers. So I first think the university culture, there needs to be a rehaul of the culture first before we actually talk about increasing numbers in terms of STEM-wise, and also the universities need to stop, our university needs to stop targeting particular schools, because we have a very high number of private school kids, and you find quite a lot of Black kids don't really come from like having a private school background, etc. So it's a bit of a difficult one, but it's there needs to be a culture rehaul in the entire university culture. So
what do you think a culture rehaul looks like within the university?
Even having these conversations about race, they're very important, because I think even when I started my degree, people were a bit shocked. They were like, oh, did you come in via clearing? But automatically assuming a Black student's gotten to the university via adjustment or via clearing, like little things like that can make you think, okay, you don't belong. Although you worked hard to get to where you are, you don't belong there. So also, like, universities need to also be doing race training for all students, because it's very important. We can't keep on like thinking just not speaking about it and hoping it goes away. If they increase the number of Black students, I think they need to make sure that the culture for us to actually flourish and not drop out exists. Right. Other than that, it would just be pointless to do so.
Putting someone like you on a platform like this, and a Black kid in school can look and think, oh my gosh, that girl's doing a PhD, like what you thought when you first joined the university. I think that's one of the ways that we can kind of address this as well.
Yeah, the person that inspires me the most is my sister. I think she's very resilient and she's very hardworking, so I'd say definitely her.
Wow, that's so good. I hope that she watches this.
Yeah, shout out to Michelle.
Shout out to Michelle. Having family members that drive you on is so good, because it's just like they're kind of like your rock, and they, even if the school institution or the university institution is saying something different, your family saying that they believe in you, that's like, I can go ahead and do this.
That's very important.
Obviously you've been amazing. Like, I don't know how you've managed to do a PhD and set up a whole society. So, bye. See you, Eileen.
Bye.
Really great to talk
Bye.
to you. Thanks again.
Bye.